This next episode in our series on being a confident leader, we're going to talk about change. And there are two ways that we can think about change. One is change that happens to us. When the market changes, when what our customers want changes, when there's a disruption in the industry, when the government imposes different rules or regulations that we have to abide by, those are changes that happen to us and that we need to deal with. And then the other kind of change is change that we initiate. But we're pretty resistant to change as human beings. We don't really like it. Even change that we initiate, sometimes we don't like. But change needs to have a couple of conditions in order to happen. Because of our natural tendency to resist change, we have to, one, be dissatisfied enough with the status quo that we want things to be different. But that's not enough. We need to see and have a vision for how it can be different and what it might look like. And that's going to give us some motivation to make things happen. And then the third piece of that is that we have to know what the next step might be. We may not have to know all of the steps, but we definitely have to know what a clear next step is so that then we have not only motivation, but we have a path to take. So, and if you'll notice that in that equation that is on the screen, those three things are multiplied because if one of them is 0, we won't overcome the resistance that we have to change. So think about the things that you're trying to make changes about, and you have all three of those pieces in place and how things are happening. And if there's changes that you felt a little stuck about, is there one of those components that's not in place, and how do you find that component? And so there are things that are going to happen to us and we can't always control, and we're going to have to deal with the change that happens to us, but we can control the change that we initiate as long as we're aware of those three components. Next week, we're going to talk about managing change and leading change with the people around us, because that's a whole different thing than just addressing the change that's happening to us or that we want to initiate. So think about the change that's happening in your life, the change that you're wanting to initiate, and how can you identify all three of those components. Have a great week.